name is Victoria. I'm a part of the Teen Advisory Committee for the Dallas Public Library, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a ruched top. So this is the fabric that I'm using. You'll have to excuse my dog. She wants to lay on the fabric, but it's just a pink jersey, which is just a super stretchy material. That's kind of key in making this a shirt because we're not gonna have any zipper openings. I have 4 pattern pieces to make this shirt. We've got my 2 front panels, the one that's gonna be ruched and you're gonna see. It's the one that has all of the ruffles or ruching, whatever you wanna call it. Next is the lining. This is going to ensure that this piece stays ruched. We have the bottom front, which is going to cover your stomach, and then we've got the back piece. So when I made this pattern, the first thing I started off with was this piece. I measured my underbust, took an inch off to allow for stretch for the material, and then made that my underbust. And then I took this in 2.5 inches, made this 5.5 inches, this around 4 inches, and then this one around 3 inches. Really all the measurements you want vertically are just enough to cover your bust. And then this piece, from here to here, this little area, is the same exact measurements, but from here to here, we're gonna double the measurement from here. This just allows for a nice amount of ruching. This next bottom piece is going to attach to this piece. So when I made it, I just made sure it was at a nice angle to fit to my waist. So this is gonna be half my waist measurement minus an inch. And then I made sure that the top was the same length as my lining piece because the eventual shirt is going to be the measurement of the lining piece. And then for my back piece, I just measured how long this was from this corner to this corner. And then I made it the same length and added a little bit of a seam allowance because this one's gonna have one more hem than this one because this one needs to be hemmed on 2 sides. This one only needs to be hemmed on 1 side. So yes, those are all my pattern pieces and I'm gonna go ahead and cut it out. I now have all of my pieces cut out. I have my 2 front pieces, bottom front piece, and then my back piece. And for the bust areas, I went ahead and I marked the outline of the lining piece and then just the curves of the ruched piece. So right now I have a ballpoint needle in my machine. It says ballpoint or it says stretch. And then I have white thread in here. Ideally, you should have a thread that matches your color, but that's just what I have to work with. So you have your stitches right here, and I'm on a straight stitch currently, and I want to make the length of the stitch as high as possible so that I can ruche the bust. The next thing we'll be doing is ruching the bust piece, the really long piece. We will be using 2 consecutive long stitches on this piece. Start it, and remember not to back stitch because if you back stitch, you could eventually run into some problems. And then when you're done with that stitch, pull out quite a bit and then cut. And then we're gonna do another row of stitches, this time about 1/4 inch away from the first stitch, making sure not to hit this line at all. After you do your 2 stitches on the top, you're going to do 2 stitches on the bottom. And you're going to go in just as far as this line. So you see how it goes right there? You're just going to hit it right there. So right now I'm taking this line right here and then this line right here and pinning them together, making sure that it's good side to good side, and then doing the exact same thing to the other side. And then once that is done, we're gonna start to pull from the top 2 or the bottom 2. Doesn't really matter as long as it's just on the same side. You could do this with 1 layer of stitches, but you can't control it as well, so it's a little bit harder in my opinion. Just taking it and pulling it. And then when you feel like you've pulled it enough where the sides fit, go ahead and knot it. And then now I'm gonna go ahead and pull the top together. Once again, knot all 4 threads together. Never forget to do that. And then if you want to make your life easier, you can cut the threads off. So now we're gonna sew these together, which is super simple. I just go to the bottom and I start to pin this side. When you're pinning, you want this top layer to hit just at the first line. Now what I'm gonna go ahead and do is sew these tops together. And I'm just gonna go ahead and do this with a zigzag stitch. There, that is super fun and easy. And right now I need some straps. Okay, right now I'm just sewing straps because I forgot to do so earlier. You probably should have done this earlier. I'm making them 1/2 inch wide. To sew the strap on, what you're gonna do is seam rip the 2 pieces out until you are right at the edge. You're going to put the strap good side to the ruched part and then stitch it closed. So this is what it's looking like. We've got the straps and the sides sewn down. And now what we need to do is we need to put the front bottom piece of this shirt on. And the thing is, we don't want to sew it. We don't want to sew this together and then sew this on, because then the seams would be too clunky and large. So instead, what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to take our bottom front piece, okay, take the good side, which is this side, and then we're gonna lay our good side of our ruched part onto the piece, and we're just gonna line it up. I'm gonna just lightly pin it with like 2 or 3 pins. Now I'm going to tuck it in, just tuck it into the burrito of my shirt, and then encase it all with the lining piece. Hopefully this makes like some sort of sense. And then now we just sew right here. Okay, now I'm gonna flip this burrito inside out to see how it looks. We're looking good. So now I'm gonna turn it back to the bad side, and I'm gonna cut off all of this excess thread, because you don't want too much excess fabric or else it'll clump up and look super weird. The next thing I'm gonna do is hem my back panel, and to do that I'm gonna need a double needle. You can buy these at Joann's, Hobby Lobby. You just have to make sure that your double needle is a stretch needle, because that is how you are going to get your straight stitches without making the fabric not stretchy. And then now I'm going to attach good side to good side with my top. Now I'm gonna flip inside out to see how it looks, and it looks very nice. Okay, this is what the seams look like. They are perfect. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, I went ahead and tried it on, and it looks really, really nice. So I marked on my back where I want the straps to be. I made sure that they are even on both sides, and then I marked where my straps were gonna be, the length of my straps, and then I went ahead, marked them as equal lengths. And now what I'm gonna go ahead and do is grab this part, line that up right here, and then I'm gonna stitch it a couple of times over right on my hem right here, so that we can hide the stitches at least a little bit. Here is the finished top. It's really cute, just really plain, simple, and the back. Thank you for coming along on this journey and making this shirt with me. I hope you have a really good day, and bye-bye.